Alright, so without a doubt, Guild Wars 2 is one of the best games that I have ever played in my tenure as a gamer. And honestly, it has never been better than now to start this game. And I'm going to talk about all the different things that Guild Wars 2 brings to the table, what they're doing now that is different than what they've done in the past, and why it's a really great time for you to load into the world of Tyria in 2026. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Guild Wars Reforged and Guild Wars 2 content. So I will admit, I was one of those who doubted at first. My thought was, how could ArenaNet continue generating worthwhile expansions like End of Dragons at the End of Dragons Saga once a year? Their first yearly expansion felt very similar to Dollar Store Gum. Exciting for the first few seconds, but lost all flavor almost immediately. Now, this isn't to say that the yearly expansions were all bad, of course, but they really did come in strong and then kind of peter off as the updates rolled in. This left a lot of players, myself included, unenthused about kind of like this release schedule. Now, with how Janthier Wilds added content, and then even Visions of Eternity released more, we truly have been able to see what kind of idea that ArenaNet is trying to do, what their goal was for these yearly expansions. With the appropriate timeline for creation, ArenaNet has released not only a roadmap highlighting a whole bunch of brand new content that will be getting involved in the endgame, but brought back beloved elite specializations that players have been asking for since End of Dragons. The elite specializations are a different way to like flavor your primary class and change it in a meaningful way, which is a lot of fun. It makes the replayability of your own character a lot higher, and the excitement behind this was quite high, we'll say. Not to mention, now that they've gotten back to this focus of what players are really after, which again, don't get me wrong, Janthier Wilds brought spears, which was was great, it was loved. However, the sentiment was kind of mixed on how Janthier Wilds eventually came out. Now looking at Visions of Eternity, and we're starting to get back to the roots of what players really liked from expansions, it has really made it feel like Visions of Eternity is a brand new game, and there's a massive new player wave of gamers trying it out right now. I mean, hell, even some of the major streamers from other MMOs checked out ArenaNet at one point. My point is that it feels like ArenaNet has finally caught on to their cadence of content release, and it's being released in a way that feels fresh, but also has a lot of weight and meaning to it. So that's a great reason to be excited, because honestly, they finally figured out what they're doing. While this is all well and good, many MMO players, myself included, look at the end game of what the MMO offers. And how does that look in Guild Wars 2? Well, what's available has been constantly improving, and it's looking like it's going to be even better moving forward. See, for the longest time, endgame for Guild Wars 2 was really focused on open world content, with the side focus of like PvE endgame, like strikes, raids, or fractals. And those have historically not been as important. With the advent of Janthier Wilds, they made a decision to move away from strike missions as the primary endgame PvE and focus once again on raids. This new wing for Janthier Wilds, Mount Balrear, brought forth the first new raid wing in over 5 years, with their challenge mode being included as well. Not to mention that they have doubled down on their convergence that they picked up from Secrets of the Obscure with the, again, Mount Balrear convergence. Instead of it being like a 10-man content raid, it's a 50-man raid where everyone has to work together and pull their weight to get the job done. For Visions of Eternity, their most recent expansion, their very first update that it's slated to come in for the year of 2026, will include a brand new raid encounter with even more encounters being included before VOE is finished. Honestly, if you enjoy endgame raiding content or just looking to get in on that, that should be good enough for you to take a stab at Guild Wars 2. That should be a good enough reason. One feature that they added this year for fractals, which are small instance-style dungeons, is the quick play beta. Now, this is simply a one-button queue for early level fractals that pairs you with other similar players and throws you straight into that fractal. This is great because it has applications of raids and strike missions down the line, and this is looking to be coming with the first update to VOE, where they plan on implementing auto queuing for raids and strikes. Really don't know why it took them this long. Aside from all the instance content on PvE, there's also still massive open world content that's around there, world bosses, PvP, and World v World content, which is constantly a fresh encounter because of the addition of the new elite specializations. There's so much that you can do at endgame, and that's not even talking about the collections or legendary crafting. With their new focus on endgame and really leaning into PvE content, it also should be noted that there is still a metric mountain of other content that you can still play. See, Guild Wars 2 has this thing called horizontal progression, which basically means that nothing ever is not current. Nothing loses value as the years go on. Gear, achievements, and more, once earned, are essentially permanent. The core game, which is free up until level 80, with the core story, of course. And then, of course, you can add expansions as you go. And they are still relevant today as they were upon release. Now, granted, to get all the content in the game that it has accumulated over the 10 years, it's going to cost you well over $100. I think I calculated it out. It's like 150 or something. However, each expansion brings something massive and meaningful to your account and your time. Heart of Thorns brought gliding and elite specializations. Path of Fire brought mounts, of course, and more elite specializations. End of Dragons brought boats, fishing, and even more elite specializations. Seekers of the Obscure gave us complete weapon customization and a streamlined method of getting the sky scaled, arguably the best flying mount. Janthier Wilds gave us land spears and a more agile war claw. And lastly, Visions of Eternity gave us more elite specializations and a skimmer update. Quite literally, you can mix and match these expansions in non-chronological order and still have a great time. Each one comes packed with content, a bunch of maps, brand new stories, legendary gear, achievements, huge meta events. I mean, I could go on. There's hundreds of hours of content in any given one. This does not even mention the Living World seasons, which act as like connecting stories between the major expansions. Unfortunately, these can only be bought in-game from the gem store, but honestly, they add a mess of content as well. You won't be bored, especially Living World Season 4, which is my favorite, honestly. That's my favorite Living World season. Because, well, of reasons. It's great. If you are just getting into the game, I would recommend taking it slow, one expansion at a time. Sometimes they all go on sale at the same time, so pay attention with those and you can get a great deal. And you can't go wrong investing into this game. Now, I would be remiss if I started talking about why you should play Guild Wars 2 in 2026 and not mention the community of the game. Let's be real, an MMO is nothing without its players, and that is kind of the point. Guild Wars 2 has one of the best and friendliest communities in online gaming anywhere. The game is designed to be co-op in the open world, not competitive. You are not fighting other players for monster kills or nodes. Everyone who participates earns credit. There's really no incentive in making it competitive in the open world. Of course, I should mention that the veterans of the community who have been playing the game for years actively look to help new players who are just stepping into the game. Along with the mentor tag, which you can just set up by typing /mentor. This is especially great for new players who need guidance and there's an experienced vet on that map, as it kind of creates a funnel for people to ask questions and then get answers. It's really great. There's also training groups for most of the PvE content that I mentioned, whether it's the strikes, the raids. I mean, literal whole guilds and groups of people who are looking for new players to learn raids, learn the bosses in a stress-free environment and no judgment zone. Well, there's a little judgment, I guess. The point is that Guild Wars 2 offers one of the friendliest communities that, honestly, I have ever found in an online community. So just know that there are a lot of good people out there. Oh, and I should say, at the time of creating this video, wink, there is also a new player boost happening, which increases your experience gains in basically every game mode for free, just so you know. I decided to level up a character just really quickly to see how fast it goes, and it took me about 10 minutes and I got to like level 8. So is it too late to get into Guild Wars 2? And that answer is a massive no. With two recent back-to-back expansions of Janthier Wilds and Visions of Eternity, pumping the game full of new elite specializations, raids, features, the game is more alive than it's ever been. Horizontal progression that respects your time, and of course the buy-to-play model is one of the best deals in all of gaming. Throw that in with new ways to play the game with the elite specializations, a really good community, and a revamped focus on the MMO experience. You're set up for success here. If you are interested, you can download the game for free and jump in right now by clicking the link in the description below. Let me know in the comments what class you're thinking of trying out first. If you want to learn more of the classes that I would recommend for a new player, you can click this video here, which will show you kind of an overview of the ones that I'd recommend. As always, stay caffeinated, folks.